we do our regular one.
Yes, because
so you can
I
prepare.
need a minute, and then I can pray and prepare.
For Jaylo loves Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes. I think you like doing Jaylo loves Jesus, right?
I'm enjoying it, and I mean these episodes have been really making me want to do more stuff like that, because before this I have never given a study.
Maybe
studies.
babes.
But are we recording already?
Yes, of course.
But okay, but can I talk about that in the other episode?
Yeah, but I'm giving you an idea.
Mm-hmm.
After the pandemic ends, whenever that is, we can go out to the streets and film you approaching homeless people with the Bible.
No.
And make a web version.
No. No, I am not going to do that.
You had me clutching my pearls this morning, babes.
You have pearls?
No. That's a term of speech, babes.
I never heard that before.
Yes. It's when older ladies get offended. But I was really, really, really nervous this morning.
Okay.
So we take showers, get up. I throw on Mornings Become Eclectic.
I make some hot cocoa.
Yep.
It was really good.
And yesterday, for anybody who missed it, I was upset at you because, for a few reasons. One, you procrastinated on something. And two, when we found out what the deal was, I suggested that you call this person. Mm-hmm. And you were like dead set against it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then this is my reasoning, and people may disagree with me on this or not.
Oh, I disagreed with you, but keep going.
I know you did. I'm just talking to everybody else who's listening.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So my reasoning was, well, if I already sent her a message, she will get it and respond, and why should I call if she's going to respond? Now, having said that, she did not respond yesterday. This person did not respond yesterday. I checked this morning. Once everything was up and running by 10, I checked this morning. Still no message by 10:21, almost 10:30. And so Rick says, yeah, I think you should call the person. And
I put it as bluntly as I can. Listen, this opportunity is probably already blown. Okay. But if there's any chance of salvaging it, you have to call right now.
So it took me a while to find the extension. I left a quick message. I said, all right, well, let the chips fall where they may. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go check my email just to make sure this person left a message or not, because I don't want to miss it. Well, lo and behold, there it was. And so I've been spared.
She gave you the extension.
She did.
I think what we should really do, babes, is since it's still next Friday, we shouldn't do any work on it until Thursday night.
No, and I made a promise to you.
Yes.
And to God. I said, look, I made a promise. I said, I promise that I will not let this happen again.
Good.
And if I do, you have every right to call me out. And I'm saying that with all, with the understanding that you will call me out when I don't keep my end of the bargain there. And I also have the understanding that I may be chastised.
Correct. I was so relieved to hear that, because I honestly just thought the opportunity was gone and you were going to have to start from scratch.
And I was like, I am not going to, and I thought to myself, you know what, if I don't find this out soon, I'm going to have to reapply, and it's going to be years, and I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to do that again. So like I said, I made a promise to you that I will make sure that I check stuff on time.
Good. Because
then that also helps me hold myself accountable. As much as I don't like being held accountable, but that also makes me grow as a person.
I am very, very happy, and
as am I. Believe me, no one is more relieved than I am.
Well, I'm really relieved, because it could have started a major argument. Because if you had blown the opportunity, I wasn't gonna just be like, "Oh, it's okay, honey." But so I'm kind of relieved from that end too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess in some ways, okay, I know that I have I've gotten upset with you because sometimes I felt like you were nagging me a lot. And sometimes I do.
Yeah.
Okay. With all due respect, sometimes I do. But I will say that in some ways, I am glad that you were really persistent, because then that made me want to be persistent with this.
Absolutely. And
I'm not expecting you to do this all the time.
Right. And after this, we can move on. But you weren't even going to check your email if if I didn't nag you about it. I mean, you would have eventually, but you wouldn't have checked it that night, which was Tuesday, and we're doing this on Thursday, and the opportunity would have been gone.
Oh, you need to check my email, or to check
to check your regular mail.
My mail, yeah.
Because remember, we had a conversation on Tuesday.
Yes.
And I was like, you should check your email. You're like, I know, Bob.
I check
worry. You weren't going to check your email.
I wasn't going to check my mail.
Or your regular mail, if I didn't tell you to do that.
Well, I mean, even, you know what? I was thinking about that, and I think my mom said something too. And I was like, to that effect, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should. If it's nagging me that much,
yeah,
I probably. Well, even the one time when you said you should send a quick email, and I'm like, and I'm like, well, you know what? If it's bothering me that much, it probably means I have to do it, and I should do it.
Yes.
Because if I don't do it, I'm going to regret it.
Yes.
So,
well, I'm glad we did that, baby.
All I have to say is I thank you.
You're welcome.
For being persistent when I didn't want to be persistent.
Go ahead. Yeah,
because
go ahead.
That is making me realize that I need to, there are some things I need to work on when it comes to being on top of stuff.
Yes.
And there are things I'm better at being on top of than others.
Like me.
Hey!
I'm joking, babes. Keep going.
Hey.
Let's get back to you thanking me.
Okay. Are you going to be good?
I'm always good. Keep going.
No, you're not. Well, anyway, I thank you for being diligently persistent in this case.
Absolutely. Now let's celebrate with a quick kiss. I've done this before. Babes, no farting noises. Now, having said all that, we kind of did have fun because, like, I was stressing out about it, but I was more loose because it wasn't going to affect me. So we were listening to music. Morning becomes eclectic.
Yes.
And you and I started dancing for a little while.
Yeah, and that kind of started to wake me up even more. I mean, the music was great. What I liked about it, and you commented on it, right? It was when they segued into another song, but what they did was they stopped it, and then they segued.
They did it right.
Yeah, and I made a comment that when I was a kid and I was listening to our my local radio station that had music like this or like pop and R&B stuff or rap or whatever, and they had they called them party mixes, a party mix where they would use it for club music or whatever, but they would play a song and then they would mix it in with the other song so that it wouldn't segue, it wouldn't make a clean segue. You would hear the song and it wouldn't be the entire song, and then they would segue into it by mixing it. It was really annoying.
Most people were really bad at it, and they do the same trick.
Very bad.
They play like 2 or 3 lines from a song and then start it from the beginning 3 times, right? And everybody did that. It felt so unoriginal to me.
Yeah.
I imagine they still go through that type of thing on regular radio. Something that came into my mind this morning, babes, when you were on the computer.
Yes.
And I was kind of going back between KCRW and BBC Six Music is, you know how like a market like Portland will have maybe, 60 stations between AM and FM. Mm. And what I'm wondering is, in 20 years, I am curious how many like actual radio stations there'll be. Because we have so many alternatives now.
Yes. Yes, we do.
So does that mean that there'll only be 50 radio stations? Or does that mean that the number is going to explode and it's going to be a lot more than it is today?
Well, you mean like for the whole corporate thing?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So like I could see there being like one NPR news station and another talk and like a BBC music station and a news BBC station, and then all the rest of it being corporate, with maybe like a KBOO thrown in for good measure.
I don't know. I personally don't want it to go completely corporate. I like the way that it was before, where states had their own, or cities had their own local stations, and they were thriving because of that. And I never liked the whole corporate thing. I just think, I understood it when it came to, I understand it when it comes to podcasts.
Yes.
Because there's a whole bunch of podcasts, and I don't listen to like a whole bunch of them, but I listen to like maybe a couple of them. But people have podcasts on different platforms, so I get that. But if I want to listen to a local radio station, like I wish that it was separate from corporate stuff. I understand if there's like talk shows on the radio that are nationally syndicated. I get that. I understand why that would be on a corporate with an organization like a company like iHeartRadio. I get that, but or World Music. I get that, but not local stations. I want them to stay local.
I think I know you don't like this station, but the only one of them you do. The only two that I could think of that are actually local are KMHD and KBOO. I could be wrong, but
okay,
that's what I listen to locally.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't count like the shows that have like nationally syndicated shows, right?
Yeah.
I guess if you don't count that, and you just have like stations like KEXP or something.
But even that's out of Seattle.
No, I know that, but I'm just giving you an example. Like a local station in Seattle is KEXP, or KMHD.
Here's a radio question for you, babes.
All right.
As you know, I subscribe to Sirius.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Howard fan, and they have a few other things.
Right.
But I've wondered to myself recently, because NPR has their NPR One app, which allows you to listen to shows and stories on demand. And I believe some music, but it doesn't have the same variety. Do you think that NPR will ever move to a full-on subscription model to where you could tune into it on the radio, but if you want to listen to all their content on demand, including their music stations, you have to pay a monthly subscription fee of, say, $10?
If you want to what?
If you wanted to listen to their programming on demand.
I can understand if you... I think it would be better if you paid like a flat rate or something.
But that's what I'm saying. You pay like $10 to listen to NPR. Any show you want, anytime you wanted. Versus now, where you could just like listen to a show when it originally airs. Well, now they do kind of like a hybrid, because you could do that. You could go on the app, or you could download the podcast versions of these shows. But I'm wondering, do you think that they would ever switch to that model where it's more subscription based?
I don't know. It's possible.
Because I've wondered that.
Yeah. But I like the option of listening. So I listen to the podcasts that I listen to are more like show podcasts, not like original podcasts usually. Because I'm not really, I don't know enough about them. But I like show podcasts. Like if I miss a show, I can go back and I can listen to old episodes that I didn't see that recently aired on whatever show it is.
That's so bizarre to me, because the podcasts I enjoy are the ones that are organically that way, right? So they're not audio taken from Dateline NBC. It's like Joe Rogan or...
But I'm not really into that stuff. I mean, I'm not really like a podcast person anyway.
That's so strange to me. There's just so much good audio as far as podcasts go.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, there's some that I'll try, but I mean, I'm not really a podcast person.
You know the problem I'm having with Joe Rogan now, babes?
What's that?
Well, there's a few things, but let's just concentrate on one for today. Before his show was on Spotify,
Oh, it's on now. It's on Spotify now?
Yes.
Okay.
Exclusively.
Okay, exclusively. Okay.
He would read ads at the beginning of the show,
Uh-huh.
and then there'd be like a 3-hour conversation with no commercials. Now the way it works is he'll still do that, but Spotify will interrupt the conversation for commercials. So he'll be talking, and then 20 minutes in, you'll hear an ad for this or that. Now, that could also be that I'm on the free version of Spotify.
Oh.
But I've heard rumors that they put ads in all their podcasts, even when you're paying the subscription fee.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, explain the subscription fee again?
You pay a subscription fee to Spotify.
Yeah.
And it strips ads from music. Mm-hmm. Plus, you can play your playlist however you want them. So, without the subscription fee, it just kind of shuffles your playlists.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
And plus, there's some exclusive content that you only get if you pay for it. Now, Joe Rogan's, you can listen on the free version, but I'm wondering if I paid for it, if they'd still have commercials interrupt his program. That bothers me.
Okay, yeah.
Because it takes me out of the conversation. But Alana hates
So it basically... I never said that.
Go ahead.
I'm just not interested.
Okay, keep talking.
Yeah, I don't hate him or like him. I'm just indifferent.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I could take him or leave him. I mean, I haven't listened enough to his stuff, and honestly, I know that you sent me a bunch of stuff, and
Like, I'm gonna get to this later, okay?
yeah, I'm just not, it's, the world of podcasts is not really my thing, I guess.
That's why you do a podcast.
No, I mean, this is different, though. I mean, we're talking about our lives.
Yeah, like, I don't like podcasts that are too overly produced. Because it sounds too much like regular radio, which I don't really enjoy.
Uh-huh. What do you mean overly produced?
Well, they'll start off by playing a piece of audio, promoting something that's coming up later in the show. They'll have music for every segment. They'll stop in the middle of conversations like Joe Rogan does now and do an ad read like every 10 minutes. Okay. And to me, that's what radio was, and that's why radio sucked. And it'll be like, they won't talk about certain topics, which we kind of do. But with them, it's more like, there's more stuff that they won't discuss, right? So they try to stay away from controversial opinions. Oh,
you mean now on Spotify?
Well, I'm talking about podcasts in general, not the ones that are on Spotify.
All right, okay.
They'll try to just talk about things that they know their audience will respond to, and it feels like they're saying the right thing instead of trying to go deep. And I feel like when you have a genuine conversation, it leaves the door open for you to say something that isn't popular. So most podcasts I don't like, but there are some that go against that grain and are more original, right?
Okay, so you basically are saying that you want podcasts that are in depth as far as ideas go.
Yes.
So you don't want it, even if it's stuff that even if it's stuff that goes mainly with your ideas, but will challenge the host will challenge their own ideas, right?
Exactly. And the other thing too is I've noticed that recently podcasts have been trying to stick to a time format. For example, they'll be like 30 minutes or exactly an hour. And
not like an hour and a half, and then
or like what we do, where some of them are like 1:21 or 2 hours 9 minutes. It'll just be
2:15 or something.
Yeah, exactly. I like when things are a little bit crazy and you don't exactly know how long something's.
Yeah, I like that too, because it's like it motivate it gets a person to want to listen more, because they don't know, they could be listening to a 30-minute episode one day and then an hour and 15 the next day.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, because I think that makes the episodes have more variety. That's why our podcast is, that's probably why our podcast appeals to some people that are listening.
Well, it appeals to me.
And to me.
That's good.
I'm a part of it.
Hopefully somebody else listens.
Well, I know. I already know that at least a couple of people have.
Oh, really? So there's...
No. Not as far as people that I know that you don't know. I'm talking about the people that we both know.
Well, there's my friend who likes it when we get into arguments.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I know a few other people, but
yeah.
So that's my complaint. Podcasts, I think that they should be more loose, but luckily there are still some out there that are, and not just this one.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
Jaylo. Babes,
mm-hmm.
You went to bed last night.
Well, yeah, I did. I mean, that's what I usually do every night.
That is not an accusation. Let me rewind.
Okay.
I think on Monday or Tuesday,
mm-hmm.
I got an email from Audible, which is an audiobook service,
okay,
saying that a particular book that was on sale, I think it was called Running for My Life by Lopez Lemong, I think.
His name was Lopez?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I saw it was a biography, which, I'm into.
Yes.
I checked and it was not on Bard.
Oh.
So I said to myself, why don't I get this? It's only a couple $.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, last night, you go to sleep, and I tell myself I'm going to listen for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The book ended about 2.5 hours later.
Wow. It sounds like you were engrossed in it.
I was.
And you were explaining to me a lot of things, and it sounds like a good book.
If memory serves me right.
Mm-hmm.
Lopez was growing up in South Sudan.
Yeah, it's a pretty dangerous area to grow up in.
He was about 6 years old. For some reason, his family was home, but Lopez went to church.
Mm-hmm.
And some soldiers came in and kidnapped all the boys.
Wow.
So Lopez is in this kind of area, trying to figure out what to do. They're hardly feeding these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the kids died, right?
Yes.
But there are a few teenage boys from his neighborhood who came to him and said, we know you don't really know us, but we've seen you around the way, and we're going to protect you during this thing.
And they are the same people that escape with him, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe a month or two goes by. They escape during the night and go running. Mm-hmm. And again, I listened to the slate, and my geography sucks. But I want to say they made it to Kenya.
I thought you said Ghana today, but you said Ghana earlier, so I don't know.
I want to say they made it to Ghana. But I'm going to say they made it to Kenya. Anyways.
You can always look him up.
That's a fault of me. These soldiers stop them, but they're good people. And they say, we can't return you, but we have a refugee camp that you're more than welcome to stay in. Mm-hmm. So Lopez is 6, and he describes it like, even before he was kidnapped, he always liked doing chores around the house. Mm-hmm. So he took to this camp as far as doing the work, making friends with people.
Right.
And he said he cried a lot about missing his parents. Mm-hmm. One day, an older boy comes to him and says, you got to leave that behind. Mm-hmm. You can't think about them here. Older kid points to this little boy who's just sitting in this chair, and he says, look at him. He's going to die because he lost the will to live because he's still living in the past. And he's like, I know you can make it through this.
Yeah.
Time goes on. Lopez eventually goes from being the little boy to being kind of like an elder in this camp.
So he's like the mentor now.
Yes. He's still a kid. He's like a teenager. But
he's a teenager, but he's grown a lot.
Correct. Yes. One day, he's around 14 or 15. He leaves the camp to find some work. Mm-hmm. He doesn't leave it, but he leaves it during the day.
Yeah.
Right? Finds a farmer, starts doing some work for him. Mm-hmm. Guy gives him, I think, 5 shillings. Mm. He returns to the camp and finds out that some of the other boys are going to go to watch the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Lopez doesn't know anything about this, but they go. I should say he's really into soccer.
Yeah.
It's the same guy's house. Goes in. He's charging 5 shillings. So Lopez pays a thing. And they're doing track and field.
Yeah.
he says to himself, well, I could do this.
Uh-huh.
You know, they're from America, but that seems really cool.
Yeah.
Like a couple months later, somebody comes to the refugee camp and says, we're taking applications, and some of you, if you apply, may get to go to America. Now, we should say that Lopez had become a Christian
Yes.
in this camp.
Wow.
So he still is to this day. He stresses God a little bit, but it's not overkill to me.
So it's not over preachy, but
No.
you pretty much find out what he believes.
Yes.
Very good.
So a couple months go by. He writes this essay and realizes that it's in Swahili, but the judges who are reading it are going to review it in English. He doesn't know English and gets help. So he's writing in a language that he doesn't know to convince people to let him come to the U.S.
Uh-huh.
Application is accepted. He ends up living in New York with this family who he says really cared about him.
And they adopted him, right?
Yes. They helped him achieve his dreams. Eventually, they adopt a couple of his friends. And he goes on to become a running star. Now, I'm not a George W. Bush fan. I want to make, in case that hasn't been clear from the numerous discussions we have.
Yeah. I mean, I could take him or leave him. I mean, that's how I feel about it.
I could leave him in poison. But anyways.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to say that. But Lopez is, at least I get the sense that he still is.
Right.
And this is why. He's in the U.S. for, I don't know, a couple months. Maybe a year. I think it's a couple months. Anyways, 9/11 happens. Everybody's sent home from school. He returns, and him and his parents are watching TV. And you may not remember this, but I think it was that night George Bush came out and gave some rah, rah, we're American speech.
Well, I remember that he, a lot of people were upset with him because while this was happening to our country, he was reading to some children.
Correct.
And I know that was, a lot of people were outraged about it.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't just that he was reading to them.
But they felt like, a lot of people felt, and I don't know how I feel about that. I wasn't really paying attention, but I heard that people felt like he didn't act quick enough.
What happened was, and we're getting off track. But
we're getting off track. But
I'll make this quick just to clarify the situation. He was supposed to read, I think first or second graders that day. He starts reading to them. Secret Service comes in and tells them that we were just attacked. And then he continues reading to the kids. He reads for like 7 more minutes to them and then finally leaves. And you want a leader who's a little bit more precise. But he's George W. Bush. As Matt Stone and Trey Parker might say, that's my Bush. In any event.
Okay.
Goes on TV after 9/11 and gives this we're American speech. Now, I, being born in this country.
As am I too.
May have looked at it more cynically and not realize that somebody who's not from here, who's new, who loves America, might see that as a reason to feel safe. Lopez saw that and interpreted it as we're going to be okay. Right. So he became, in my opinion, a fan of Bush. I could be wrong.
Maybe he just felt that by him saying that he felt safe, but maybe not. Maybe he wasn't that much. Maybe he wasn't really a fan of him. Maybe he just felt in that moment that he was safe, but that doesn't mean that he's going to like everything he does.
Well, I don't know, but George W. Bush is also a known Christian, and that plays into his mythology a little bit.
Mythology?
Yes. But
mythology.
Yes, the mythology of George W. Bush.
All right. We're
getting a
little too political here.
In any event, Lopez focuses on track and field, has a few bumps and bruises along the way, and the book was published, I want to say, in 2011, so I don't know where he is now. But he did go to Beijing for the Summer Olympics in 2008.
Wow.
And he got to carry the flag, which I guess is a big deal. Plus,
of course it is, yes.
he also got to speak with George W. Bush.
Oh, can you stop with the annoying fake Southern accent?
Sorry, babes. I didn't
Really?
know. Sorry.
I kind of wonder if you're mocking.
Would I ever mock it?
Well, no. I mean, it sounds like you're mocking all Southerners.
Oh.
Am I right?
No.
Yeah, okay.
I would never mock a Southern person.
Okay, well, you better not.
Unless I wanted to.
You do have Southern friends.
I do.
Yes.
But we don't talk about that.
And I do have friends that have relatives that are from the South.
And I feel sorry.
Hey!
All right, let's get back to the story. Let's get back, babes. Enough of this mocking me, babes.
Mocking? I'm not mocking you.
Oh, what do you have? Yes, you are. You know it. But in any event, he meets with George W. Bush, and he also goes back to South Sudan.
Wow, really?
And reunites with his family.
Really?
Yeah, it's a super interesting book.
Wow, that is his natural born family.
Correct.
His immediate family.
His dad and mom were still alive, and he was able to convince his brothers to join him in the U.S.
Wow, that is a real. Wow, that is an amazing story. And so, I know this is kind of off the subject, but I was thinking about Sudan. I remember
the episode of Friends about Sudan.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Would you stop?
Go ahead. Tell me.
Would you stop?
Yes.
Okay. I remember watching some TV with my family and hearing. I think we were watching like BET or something, and we were hearing in the middle of the shows they would break to commercial, and we would hear about how corrupt the Sudanese government was, because the Sudanese government would kidnap men and children, and I think they would rape the women and kidnap the children and kill the men. Kidnap the women and children and rape the women and then kill the men.
In some way. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, it is. It's awful. It's very barbaric. And they were urging people to write to the Sudanese government to make changes, because there are people that are being slaughtered, and children especially are being hurt.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
We were talking earlier about radio.
Yes.
And how podcasts, it's a little bit more slick, and because of that, the substance kind of suffers, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Your story about BET, in some ways, do you think that speaks to the consolidation of companies? Because I believe up until 1999, BET was an independently owned company. Like, they had share owners, but it was run by one guy who owned the majority of the stock. And around that time, he sold it to Viacom, which owns Paramount and CBS and a few other big, entertainment companies. Mm-hmm. Do you think that BET could do that today? And do you think that it's sad that they're no longer independently owned?
That's a good question. I don't know how I feel about it. I never thought of it.
I could give you my answer.
You're sad that they're not independently owned.
I think it's sad is probably a strong word. I think it's unfortunate. I don't think that they could do it on the level that they may have done back then, where they would keep encouraging people to write in. I think now the way corporate America works is you could do a documentary once that airs on like a Saturday night when very few people are watching it. But you couldn't keep hammering home the message that something's going on there, because what if it upsets some sponsors who have connections to Sudan?
Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
So if you do it once, it's like a critically acclaimed thing, and not very many people see it. But if you keep reminding people, then it gets into the consciousness a little bit more. And I think that's one of the problems with media consolidation.
But I think that they wanted to get the word out, to make people aware about what's happening in an African country.
Oh no, but I'm just saying that's the difference between the BET of the late 90s versus of what it is today.
Actually, I didn't hear it in the 90s. I remember hearing it in like the maybe early to mid 2000s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm completely full of shit then. I don't know.
You said it, not me.
Oh. Well, would you like to disagree with that?
You're full of something.
Oh my goodness.
Whether it's poop or not, I don't know.
Or maybe it's shit.
Oh. All right.
Alana doesn't like swearing.
Everybody knows who has listened to this podcast enough.
Okay. Stop tickling me.
I gotta keep this boy in line, you know.
Let me ask you something, babes. When was the last time you were really tempted to swear?
I don't remember.
So it has not been since we started dating?
No.
Okay.
No.
You never just want to join me in?
No.
Really?
No, really. I don't have a desire to do it.
Oh.
I think it's lazy. I think it's overused, and I think people use it as an excuse to sound really cool, but they sound stupid.
Some people do.
And I think it only is there to prolong their conversations.
I
don't think there's no use for it.
It can be lazy, but it's not necessarily that way.
I think it is. It's just like, they're just, I don't know. I just think it's lazy and ugly, and there's just no use for it. But I think that it's been so normalized that people don't know any different.
I don't know, babes.
I'm just saying. And I know I know that people are not gonna agree with me, and that's totally fine, but I just think it's just unnecessary.
I will say this. As you know, I'm a Star Trek fan.
Yes.
And last year, I saw the first season of Star Trek Picard.
Yes.
Which is not that good.
Right.
But they curse on the show.
Uh-huh.
And for some reason, it made me realize that I don't like cursing on Star Trek. I don't know why, but it really upset me.
That's really interesting. Is it because, is it because they usually, like in the older show and in, was it like a show for TV?
Yes.
Well, what channel was it on?
It's not like regular, it's like a streaming service. I think it's CBS All Access.
Well, see, here's the thing that's really interesting about streaming services. I think a lot of streaming services feel like, because they're not linked to any, well, except if it's like an NBC show, right? Mm-hmm. Or a CBS show. That's not CBS All Access. Maybe because streaming services like Netflix or Hulu or whatever you use have more freedom to have content like that, and then you just choose which one you want. But really, you don't like the cursing on Star Trek, huh?
No, it really turned me off, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Is that because you are used to the way that Star Trek was back when we were younger, and you liked it better that way?
I'm sure it is.
Okay.
I'm sure that's the reason for it.
Okay. Well, I can understand that. I can totally understand it. It probably just is like, whoa, I did not expect that. Okay.
And I did not like that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
That really does.
That's good, though.
But that's good.
Maybe I just earned some brownie points?
Yes.
Thank you.
Or maybe it's cookie points.
Oh, cookie points from
where do words, like, I wonder, like, how brownie points came into our vernacular, or kudos. I told you about the snack bar called Kudos that used to eat, and I love those things. They're like granola bars that are covered in either fudge or peanut butter. It's so good.
I've never had one.
Or I think there's like chocolate chip. It's like something that I would eat like with my lunch, and I didn't get it all the time, and they came in boxes. I didn't get them all the time, and they came in boxes, and they just reminded me of the granola bars, but they were pretty tasty. It was good.
Well, that's awesome, babe.
I got to see if they're even selling them.
Mm.
Yeah, kudos.
Jaylo.
Yes.
Last night,
uh-huh,
you and I watched a couple movies.
Yes, we did.
2 Girls and a Guy.
Yeah.
And The First Wives Club.
Yes.
Would you like me to talk about two girls and a guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I have. And we can go on to our comments after that. But go on.
Yes. And, we'll interject and have some fun during it.
All right.
But starts off, these two girls named Carla and Lou are waiting outside a building.
Mm-hmm.
And this weird fellow approaches Lou and starts hitting on her. She blows him off. He's starting to get upset with her.
And then he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, it was either his girlfriend or his wife comes along.
And she's calling him names, and she's very upset with him, and he's assuring her that, that he's still with her, and blah, blah, blah. And after he just hit on Lou.
She leaves. Lou starts talking to Carla. First of all, Lou sounds like a 60-year-old plumber to me. Not
a fat one.
Yeah, not a 23-year-old hot girl. But she explains to Carla that her dad really wanted a boy. So it's short for...
Louise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I met a woman named Lou.
I'm happy for you, babes.
I don't remember. I think I only met her once that I can think of.
We're going to celebrate that later.
Oh my goodness. We don't have to do that.
So they start talking about their boyfriend, and Lou says, oh, it's great that you're waiting for your man. My man is coming back today, too, and he's an actor, and he was going to be on the sitcom.
And he's the best boyfriend ever.
And she starts naming his credits.
Yeah.
Carla's like, wait a second. Is he coming back on this and this flight?
Yeah.
And they realize that they've been dating the same guy.
The same person, yep.
Lou goes up the fire escape, which apparently is a thing in New York City.
Well, my apartment had a fire escape.
This one does not.
No, I don't know.
You're going to burn alive, babes. Sorry to let you know.
I'm sure that there is a fire escape. I don't know where it is.
No, but the ones that on the outside of the building.
Yeah.
In any event, Lou goes up, breaks the window of her man, Blake, with a plant.
Yeah.
And gets inside. Carla comes in. They talk about him and, isn't it so weird? He'd always have the excuse of hanging out with his mom and...
Yeah, and then, and she would say, yeah, it's, he told me that he loved me, and he said that I never felt this way until I met you, or whatever it was.
Excuse my language, babes, but then they would go on, and he would say his dick didn't belong to him, it was attached to him, but it really belonged to me, and he was flaccid if I wasn't around.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes. Mine does not belong to you. It is attached to me, and I will keep having complete ownership of it until I die. Just so you know, babes.
Okay.
And anyway,
well, even if we did end up married, you still wouldn't feel that way.
Like it belonged to you?
Right. And I wouldn't treat it as such.
No, you wouldn't just cut it off and put it.
No. Okay. Go on.
Have it bronzed.
That's disgusting.
Although after I'm dead, you are allowed to do that. But I have to be completely dead. It can't be like this question of it. You have to pull me off of a life support.
I think we're going down a rabbit hole here.
Okay.
Yeah. Go on, please.
That's
gross.
That is gross, babes.
You're the one who said it.
Well, we needed to clarify.
You're the one who said it, Bubs.
You can have a bronze, the whole thing.
Bubs!
Let's get back to the story, babes.
That's what I'm trying to get you to do.
Stop being so vulgar. So, let me talk, babes. Blake comes back to his place.
Played by Robert Downey Jr.
Yep. Tony Stark. Everybody hides except for Blake. Walks in the door. Starts singing. Calls the girls, his agent, his mom. And is just sort of fiddling around. When? Was it...
Carla comes out.
Yes. They start talking.
And she's visibly upset.
And she's like, well, you're just with me, right? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You're the only one I love. But then who also shows her face? Lou.
And it was funny because his reaction was very funny. Like, he was like, oh, wow, I'm in shock, you know?
Carla, everything I just told you was true.
Yes.
This begins a wild time of them talking about their feelings.
And I should I say this?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that everything that happens in the movie happens in that house for the most part.
Yes.
Nobody, well, for the most part, a lot, the stuff that happens, they're all in that house.
In the apartment.
In the apartment, yeah.
I mean, there's the scene at the beginning where Lou and Carla are outside of it.
Yeah.
But that's really about
it. Everything happens for the most part, either outside of the apartment or in.
Well,
I mean, in.
All the scenes in the movie are inside the apartment besides for the beginning of it.
Okay.
And I believe this movie was shot in an 8-day period.
Wow.
So very fast for film.
Very fast.
Productions of movies usually, it varies, but it's usually like 6 weeks to about 2.5 months.
Wow, unbelievable. Okay.
So they're talking, everybody's upset, and a lot of things I'm just going to leave out just because most of it is talking.
Yes.
But there's some interesting discussions about, Clarence Thompson.
AKA Clarence Thomas.
But Lou doesn't know that.
But Lou doesn't realize that because she's kind of dumb.
Yes.
It's like Clarence Thompson?
Yes. And you're like, I knew that when I was your weapon.
Oh my goodness. No, that's when I did remember hearing about that.
But I remember, babes, one night your parents were having a very, I wouldn't say heated, but a very interesting discussion about Clarence Thomas and his, life. And you came into the room and you're like, oh goodness, I'm a weapon.
No.
I'm a weapon. Okay. To try to break up the conversation.
No, I did not do that.
Okay, you thought about that, right?
I did not. No, I'd never thought about that.
Yeah. Anyways. Robert Downey Jr. starts talking about how, you think Denzel Washington is a good actor, but he's just he's getting lost in the part, basically.
And he's explaining that, yes, I do know Denzel Washington.
I saw him at a restaurant. Not that he knows him, but he saw him out.
He saw him at a restaurant.
Yes. So, at some point in the movie, Heather Graham, who plays Carla, has sex with Robert Downey Jr. while Lou is outside of the bedroom area just listening in on them.
And I'm like, okay, what is she doing?
And eventually it comes out that Blake is not the only one in the relationship who has been cheating. Yeah. Both of them have gone with different people.
Right. Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Carla admits that she slept with 4 guys. But Lou admits that she has been with 3 women. And so Blake was like, I cannot believe this. You're telling, and he admitted that he cheated on the both of them.
With 7 different people.
Yeah, a lot of people. But then he's like, but then you sleep with 4 guys and you sleep with 3 women, so it didn't make any of them look good at all.
No.
I mean, it would be one thing if both those women were not cheating on him, but both of them did. So they don't look good at this point. All 3 of them don't.
Interesting subplot to the movie is Robert Downey Jr. Keeps calling his mom and thinking that she does not sound right.
Yeah, her voice is significantly lower than it usually is.
He tries to get Dr. Kaufman to do something about it.
Is it Kaufman?
I think
it's Cutler.
Cutler.
Yeah.
To do something about this.
Yeah, and the girls are like, wait a minute, did he use his mom as an excuse for
so they're thinking he's pulling a fast one on them.
They're thinking it's another woman.
Correct. Eventually, Lou says, well, maybe we could be a 3-way couple, right?
Yeah.
And all 3 be in a relationship.
It's a little bit weird.
They're not really having this. Lou ends up leaving. He's talking with Carla and decides to go and check on his mother. Mm-hmm. Comes back sometime later. We discover that the mom is dead. He tries calling a funeral home to make arrangements, but completely starts breaking down.
And he's just devastated.
Yes.
And so she takes the phone and makes the funeral arrangements.
As just sort of holding him for a little while. Eventually, Carla tells Blake that, okay, we got to get ready to go. Mm-hmm. Blake stumbles over to the piano, starts playing some music on it. Carla sits down next to him and lays her head on his shoulder And that's where the film concludes.
Yeah, well.
I saw this movie when it was released in 1998. I want to say March of that year. And there was some talk that this was going to be a NC-17 rated movie. Now, it ended up being R.
Yeah.
But I remember that James Toback, the director, was having a few issues with the NPAA, which is the board that decides what a film should be rated.
Oh, really?
He eventually got his way. Which didn't really help the movie much because I don't think it made a lot of money. You had never heard of it before.
No, I haven't.
This is only my second viewing of the film, but I remembered really enjoying it as a teenager.
Why would it have an NC-17 rating, or why were they thinking about rating it that?
I think some of it had to do with language, also the promiscuous attitude of the people in it.
Oh, right. Okay.
I am wondering, babes.
Yes.
I would give this film a strong 7.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but it has some interesting characters. In most movies where you find two girls who realize that they're sleeping with the same man, it happens deep into the film. And it's played... There's laughs in this movie, but stereotypically it's played for laughs only in other movies.
Right. Chaos ensues. Yes.
Yeah, this is a different take on the cheating boyfriend.
It certainly is. And it's... So, I gave this movie not so much a strong 7. But I will... I thought that the interaction with the two girls was kind of interesting. But I also thought the interaction with the two girls and the guy was a little bit dysfunctional. But at the same time, it could be there were some funny things in it.
So you did.
And I thought it was it was a little depressing. I will have to say that.
But overall, you would give it a recommending grade.
I don't know.
Could I say that you like this movie?
I don't like it as much as you do.
But do you like it is what I'm asking.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
And you're not sure if you would tell other people to view it or not?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I think that if they were having problems with their relationship or something, I don't know if I would recommend it, but if they're, if they wanted to watch a movie like that, then maybe they would. I don't know. They might feel even worse after they watch the movie. I don't know. It was kind of a depressing movie.
It definitely ends on a down note.
It was very sad. You could tell that he was very, very devastated about his mom's passing. And it kind of makes you think, well, this guy, I know, he did something really bad to these women, and he was cheating on these women, right? Mm-hmm. And so I thought it was kind of interesting because, that thing where there's this idea that if a man loves his mother, then he would love and respect other women.
I've heard
the way that he would respect his mother. So it's kind of a dichotomy there with him. He's disrespectful to these women and other women who probably don't know about the other ones, but he loves his mother. He's very concerned about his mother's well-being.
Does he love his mother, or does he think he loves his mother?
I really felt like he did. But then I think it's kind of interesting that he would love his mother, but then treat other women horribly.
What does Blake teach us about helicopter parenting?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, if you're talking about helicopter parenting towards the child, nothing.
Well, let's examine this a little bit further. I'm going to push back on you, Jaylo.
Okay, so because I don't understand the question either.
Okay. He comes back from a trip where he did something to do with acting. We don't really know what, or if it's mentioned, I forgot. Uh-huh. And one of the first people he calls is his mom.
Yeah.
It comes out in the movie that he talks to his mom every single day, even though he's a man, presumably in his 30s, and is so close to her that he has her doctor's phone number on him.
He's a mama's boy.
Right. But how did he become that way? something tells me that there's some helicopter parenting involved. And we can get a glimpse of this because when Lou and Carla are talking about his mom before he gets home, they say stuff like, oh, whenever he talks about his mom, it's always like, mother and I did this, mother and I did that. When he refers to his childhood, rather.
Right. So it was like they were always together.
Yes.
And they kind of wondered, well, is there more to this relationship? Which I thought was kind of I thought was disgusting.
I think Lou thought that because she wanted to get off and she needed a fantasy.
Oh, jeez.
But now that we've talked about it, do you think this film teaches us something about helicopter parenting?
Possibly. Or it could just be that he was just close to her. And he wanted to be around her. I don't know.
Do you want to talk to your mom every single day? Do you know her doctor's phone number?
No, I don't know her doctor's number. I think she can handle that by herself. I don't talk to her every single day. I talk to her like maybe during the week, but not every single day.
Oh.
She, I think she would prefer that I did, but I can't talk to her every single day.
That's right, Jaylo.
Yeah.
That's hard to me too, babes.
That's right. I do talk to you every single day.
Thank you, babes.
Yes.
Well, what does Lou teach us about being promiscuous?
Well, I have my own ideas about promiscuity. But I will say that,
Do you want me to give some thoughts?
well, I have to. Well, okay, you give your thoughts, and I'm gonna think about what I was thinking.
Okay, she's cheated on Blake 3 times. I don't care that she cheated on him with girls. That's her own business.
Mm-hmm.
But what is interesting about Lou is she now wants a 3-way relationship, and she's the only one in the group who wants this.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that implies that she's never going to really settle down in life. That she's always going to want these relationships that get more and more bizarre.
I would agree with you on that one.
And she's the one who suggests, well, maybe Blake had sex with his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Carla says something
really odd stuff, yeah.
that Lou misinterprets.
Mm-hmm.
She also is not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And I'm curious about how much of that is because she spent more time worried about getting partners than studying the world around her.
I would agree. I think you're onto something because you asked me what it said about promiscuity. Because she is so promiscuous, she's filling whatever void she has. Either that or she just thinks that multiple partners will make her happy. She likes experimenting, right? Mm-hmm. And because she has these partners, she's not able to really stop and think about what's going on around her. She's kind of in her own little world. She's very neurotic, as you've noticed, as we've both noticed in the beginning. Mm-hmm. She's kind of neurotic. She talks way too quickly. She doesn't like the world around her is like she's very oblivious. Is that the right word?
I would say that's correct.
She's very oblivious about what's happening in the culture, what's happening in politics, just stuff that she would talk to people about. So because she's too busy thinking about the next relationship or the next fling or whatever it is. And I don't think that she even though she was upset that she was cheated on, she's probably thinking, well, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to find somebody else.
I don't want to become too woke.
Yeah.
But, and I don't know if this is the case or not. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Do you think that it was the filmmaker's intent to make the most over-sexualized person in this film bisexual?
Well, I think a lot of films are I mean, it's true. Mainstream films have become a lot more way overly sexualized. So it doesn't surprise me.
But you don't think it's because she's bisexual?
No.
Well, and then we could
No.
ask another question.
No, not at all.
Is Lou the most over-sexualized person in the movie, or is it Blake?
I think it's Lou.
I would agree, but I wonder how much of that has to do with my own perspective.
Well, I mean, because she's bisexual?
Well, it's not because she... I wonder if that's why the filmmaker made her the one who is over-sexualized, in my opinion, right? So, did he say to himself, well, we're going to make her bisexual, and it's just so happened that she's going to be the one who tries to introduce the idea of a three-way relationship, versus Blake, who we
just
can assume just likes women. Why couldn't we have him introduce the idea, especially since he loves both of them? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much.
I think you are, but I think you might be onto something too.
Really?
Well, I mean, as far as I don't know, I don't understand the whole woke thing, but I don't know that this character was that he wanted to make her super woke or anything. I just think that.
Well, I think the opposite, but I'm wondering if I'm looking at it through a woke lens.
You might.
And he's trying to be more of, well, we will let Lou take these shots instead of having it come from Robert Downey Jr. because we can't have the audience hate him. We can have them have some disgust for the bisexual.
Maybe he did it because he wanted to turn the tables a little bit.
Okay.
Or yeah, I'm guessing maybe. Oh, well, why is the guy always the enemy? Maybe the girl should be. Maybe the girl should be somewhat of the villain.
Interesting.
Because I mean. In our society, and it's sad to say, a lot of women are portrayed as being victims. And I don't always agree with that. I think that there are women that are very cunning, and they're very deceitful, and they're very devious, and they need to be held accountable for it. And I think that she has to be held accountable for her actions as well.
But it's not because she's bisexual.
No.
Okay.
No, nothing to do with that.
I was just curious. It was an interesting question.
But and I do believe that a lot of movies are over-sexualized.
Okay.
As well as this one, and it doesn't surprise me.
There's a possibility of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where do you think Lou is today? Is she a plumber now and a 6-year-old man?
No.
Okay.
No, I think she's just as... If this experience hasn't allowed her to grow, she is still how she is. She's still going from one uncommitted relationship to another uncommitted relationship and getting upset with the men that cheat on her, but then she goes to women again.
Give me your thoughts on Carla staying.
That's an interesting question. I don't know. Oh, you mean like whether I thought she made a good decision?
Whether you thought she made a good decision by staying, and do you think these characters are still together now? Because now she's helping him through a traumatic experience.
I don't know that they are together. Because she understands that he's going to cheat on her no matter who it is. Right? Mm-hmm. He's cheated on her and Lou with 7 other people. I think that she may not stay, but I think maybe she decides to be friends with him and help him out. Or she helps him out this time and then she says, okay, I'm going to go.
Do you think that the 4 men she cheated on Blake with meant anything more to her than just a fling?
No.
In some ways, does that make what Blake did worse?
I think that both of them are at fault.
Let me ask you this.
All right.
Would you rather I cheat on you one time? No, let me rephrase the question. Okay. Would you rather I cheat on you twice with 2 different women and it's just a one-night stand thing? Or I start a relationship with another girl and we spend 2 days a week completely together and I hide it from you?
I would not want you to do any of it.
But if I had to do one.
Bubs, I can't believe you're asking me to choose.
Well, I'm not going to do either of them, babes.
Okay, I'll just say it this way, Bubs. I would be more furious with you if you started a relationship with another girl.
And that's why what Blake did.
But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be angry with you if you had one night stands with 2 other women.
Okay,
I would still be really, really upset.
Okay.
With you.
Well, just remember, babes, Jesus forgives and so would you. But
forgiveness comes with repentance, my dear.
That's right, babes, and I haven't done anything.
The
reason I ask, and it sounds like we're on agreement, that what Blake did was the worst of the 3.
Yes, it was.
Good.
But that doesn't take away the fact that these girls were not innocent either.
Yes. Is there anything else you want to say about this movie? Any scenes that stick out to you, or?
The part when he was singing, and the part when he was in the mirror and he was talking to himself. I thought it was kind of weird. I'm like, he's really into himself, isn't he?
I'm going to stretch out my legs.
Okay.
My neck was hurting, babes, last night, as you know.
Yeah,
and I know. Gave me a really good massage, even though it still hurts.
It does? Okay, yeah. Well, I can kind of help with that then.
Oh, good. So, you feel good about this film? Did we cover it right? Is there anything else you want to say about the characters?
I honestly think that Carla was more calmer and level-headed than Lou was.
I would agree.
Yeah, I really think that she did love him. I think she genuinely loved him. I don't think she should have cheated on him the way she did, but I think that she genuinely loved him, and I don't think she handled it very well. And Lou's just cray-cray.
Yes. Give me a kiss. We'll dedicate this kiss to Carla. Speaking of Carla, babes.
Yes.
We watched The First Wives Club after this.
Yeah.
And it had Nick Tortelli, Carla's ex-husband, on Cheers.
Oh, my goodness.
I know, that's
I remember when you're like, wow, that's Nick Tortelli. I'm like, who is he again? He's like, he's Carla's husband on Cheers. I'm like, of course.
Where's the Loretta?
Do you ever see Loretta?
Yeah, she's on Cheers on a few episodes.
Okay.
But I digress. You showed me the movie The First Wives Club.
And I think I've seen it twice before before last night.
I was obviously aware of this film because it was very popular when it came out.
Yeah.
But I never had the desire to see it.
Yeah.
Why don't you give an overview? Okay.
So basically, there are these 4 friends: Cynthia, Brenda, Annie, and Elise. One of the friends kills herself. And they all go to the funeral. I mean, it seemed like Cynthia had it all. I think she married a rich guy, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yes, and he left her.
Yeah.
For somebody else.
And somehow in the midst of all that, she kills herself. It was really sad. And we only see her in a couple scenes. Correct. So anyway, they go to the funeral, and I don't remember who was crying. Was it her husband?
I forgot.
Her ex-husband?
Maybe. He was there with the trophy wife.
Yes. He was.
But keep going, babes.
Anyway, so they go to the funeral. A lot of things are happening. Annie is separated from her husband, but they're seeing each other. They're still together. And
having booty calls and going to the therapist.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So she's going on. The daughter doesn't like that she's still with her dad because
she hates the dad.
She does not like what's going on with her and her dad. Elise's husband. So Elise is played by Goldie Hawn. He left her, and the interesting thing with them is that they produce films together, I believe.
Correct. She stars in them, and he kind of runs their production company.
Right.
But she does a lot of the work too.
Right. And I'm gonna talk about a little bit more of those stories. Brenda's husband, Morty,
Nick Tortelli.
left her. She's a Jewish mother of a Jewish teenage boy. And
Oy vey.
Oy vey. And they were married for a long time, but, he has moved out and is with some girl named Shelley.
Now having sex in the city.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker was his young trophy girlfriend.
She's really good in this movie.
She's really funny. Chime in, please.
Is that a bunch of battered women dancing?
Yeah, we'll get to that part.
We'll get to that part when we get to that part. Okay, so after the funeral, these gals haven't talked to each other in years, but they go out for drinks, and they're kind of like, oh, my life is so sad. Things have gone wrong with us.
And Annie's the only one that says, my life is good. My daughter's, she's great.
Well, yeah, and we should really stay in touch, and it's sad that it took us Cynthia's death to get together, but let's be a part of each other's lives.
Yes.
So they go out about, do their own things, and Annie is going to go on a booty call with her husband, right?
She goes to, I think you're missing. I think you're missing one part.
There is, yes, you went to a therapist.
She goes to the therapist.
Lacked the therapist over there.
Hold on. The therapist encourages her to hit her because, she's very upset about her husband. She doesn't know what to do. So after that happens, she goes to see her husband, and I think they just
do it.
Finish with their fun, and she's like, "Hey,
you can move back in.
Why don't you move in? Why don't you move your things back in?" And I kind of wish, the therapist's name is Leslie. I kind of wish that she was here. Well, I don't really wish she was here, but I think that she would be very proud of us. Well, guess who walks in? Leslie,
because she's cheating, or she's having sex with the husband, basically.
Yeah, she's cheating on. The husband is cheating on her
on Diane Keaton with
Leslie after they just slept together and he wanted a divorce. That's why he wants a divorce. I thought it was really funny because Leslie was saying, "Now Annie, you are not helping us right now," and she still wants to be her therapist. I thought that was hilarious.
That was pretty good.
And she's like, "I'm sorry I ever laid eyes on you. I'm sorry." And she had a good reason to storm out of the house.
Yes.
She was very, very, very upset.
Yes. Yes, she was, babes.
So these women want revenge on their husbands. And, so these women want revenge on their husbands, and, they're trying to figure out a way to do it. Elise is trying to get Bill for all he has. She finds out that her ex-husband wants her to star in a movie, and she plays the mother of a young woman named Monique. Monique happens to be the woman who's playing Monique happens to be his girlfriend.
There's a great scene where Goldie Hawn walks into the room, and the homegirl walks up to her and hugs her and says, "You're going to be my mom."
Yeah, and by the way, she was played by Elizabeth Berkley
from Showgirls.
From Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Showgirl.
Saved by the Showgirl.
Yes.
Why not?
She couldn't save Dustin Diamond though. Keep going, babes.
I know, it's very sad. Anyway, that was kind of funny.
Thank you.
And she was drinking, and she's like, do I look like Monique's mother? This is Monique's mother, and she's naming all these names, and she's drunk, right?
Yes.
And she talks to the housekeeper or whatever his name is?
I forget.
He's like, "Oh, I'm a mess."
Because we were kind of like messing around during this movie too.
We weren't.
Yeah, we were.
Really?
We weren't, doing it, but we were making out during parts of it.
Yeah, but we didn't have to talk about that, bud.
Okay, we weren't doing anything during this movie except watching it while clutching our Bibles. Keep going, babes. That's my outfit.
I know.
Oh.
I know. That's exactly why.
And I was trying to tell you Temptation Ode in chapter, I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Thou shalt not
You're totally butchering it. I think you should stop while you're ahead.
Tell me more about this First Wives Club.
So anyway, Elise is like drinking herself away. Brenda's son, Jason, has a bar mitzvah. I know I'm kind of skipping around because there's a lot of things that are going on in the movie.
Yeah, we don't have to cover everything.
Could you please talk about what they are doing to get their husbands back?
I will go over a little bit of it. So Goldie Hawn is ordered by the state to sell all their assets and give her soon-to-be ex-husband half of the profits. So what she does is she gathers, the stuff that they bought together. She got him. And that includes going to his work and getting his desk while he's in the middle of a meeting or about to start one and getting his car taken away. Mm-hmm. What she does is she sells all the assets to Diane Keaton for $1 and really undercuts this guy.
That's really funny.
Now, we should say that Bette Midler's character, her ex-husband, who's dating Sarah Jessica Parker, she's told at the son's bar mitzvah by one of her uncles that, we helped Morty get into this business. If you could get the paperwork, there's some interesting stuff there. So she devises this plan where she has Goldie Hawn's older friend,
Gunilla Goldberg,
who is this high society lady, invites Sarah Jessica Parker over for lunch, which I thought that scene was great.
Yeah.
While she's there,
and she's talking about Brenda.
Yes. Gunilla plants the idea in Brenda's head. Hey, you should really have your home. They should have somebody come into your apartment and take pictures of it for this uppity magazine, and people you'll be the toast of the town then. And I know just a photographer for you guys, but he's really busy. Maybe he could work you in. And he's Goldie Hawn's friend.
Yeah.
So he goes over to the house, tells Morty and the lady that, I need to be alone here for like an hour just to sort of feel my way around. When they're gone, girls come in, get the paperwork, leave. Mm-hmm. And Diane Keaton... I remember why I put it that way. Mm-hmm. A couple scenes later, Gunilla takes Sarah Jessica Parker to this auction.
Yes.
Where Goldie Hawn's stuff is being auctioned away by Diane Keaton.
Yep.
And Gunilla keeps saying, you should really buy this. Mm-hmm. And she ends up spending $500,000 at the auction. Mm-hmm. Morty gets pissed off, but more than that, Diane Keaton takes the proceeds from the auction and uses it to buy out half of her husband's business. Mm-hmm. Keep going, babes.
I think you're doing a good job, but I'll let you continue.
Okay. The husband is really upset, and by this time, Morty is kidnapped while making the commercial. These guys come in and say, hey, we're here to arrest you. They throw him in a trunk, take him down to this place, and he is confronted by Bette Midler, who says, Morty, we have you on the books. We know I could turn you into the IRS, and you'll be serving some time, or you could help me out here. Mm-hmm. Here's what you have to do. I will pay you a salary because it's Morty's. You will be the president in name only. Mm-hmm. You'll live an okay lifestyle, but I'm going to be running stuff. And I want you, if you don't want to go to prison, be here in 2 hours. Now, Diane Keaton says the same thing to her man. And Goldie Hawn found out that the lady from Saved by the Bell was actually 16. So her man could get arrested for statutory rape.
Yep.
Guys go to this location and are basically told, okay, we're going to use your money and build a center for women. So there's a big celebration that goes on. Sarah Jessica Parker doesn't want to leave the car. So Morty goes inside, dances with Bette Midler, and it's implied that they might be getting together later on. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the movie, they sing a corny song, and that's the end of it.
You don't know me. Yeah. So we both gave it a 7.
Yes.
It isn't the best movie, but there's a lot of funny things in there.
I would give it a weak 7, but it's still a 7. So, something I referenced earlier, when Sarah Jessica Parker is waiting outside, Goldie Hawn's ex-husband comes up and she's like, well, what is it in there? A bunch of battered women dancing
around?
That really made me laugh.
I thought that was funny, too, the way she said it. Well, what is it? Like a bunch of battered women dancing because they have a women's center. That was really funny.
Yes.
They were all good in this movie.
I will say this.
The three ladies.
I did like the acting. Something that took me out of the movie a little bit was the celebrity cameos.
Okay. And I didn't care so much about those.
Right. Like, do we really need Rob Reiner and Ivana Trump in this movie?
I don't even know why she was there.
Or Kathy Lee Gifford.
Or Kathy Lee Gifford, yeah.
Yes. And I asked you a question, not to get too political.
Oh, okay.
But Ivana Trump says something to the effect of take a man for whatever you can, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever he's worth. Now, we know that in her life experience, that is implying that, it's based on her own experience getting money out of Donald Trump. And I was asking you, based on that, considering that he was an ex-president, do MAGA people consider this film anti-American?
No.
Okay.
No. That's her opinion, and that's her opinion only.
Nice.
I don't think, it has to do with any political loss or gain.
So you did not feel offended when she said that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we could.
I don't. That if she feels that way, it doesn't matter if it's her ex-husband or somebody else. That's her own opinion. I mean, I wouldn't handle it that way, but yeah.
There we go, Jay. Whoa.
I would take a man for what he was worth if he was a jerk to me, but
there's a couple of scenes in here that we forgot to mention. One of them that stood out to me. Bette Midler has a great line in this movie. They're hanging out, the three girls, and Goldie Hawn is drinking and upset because, we're getting back at your husbands, but my guy is still going to take me for half of my stuff.
And he's like, it's like, you're an alcoholic. You're drunk. And then what does she say?
She's like, well,
I have guests.
What happens is Bette Midler goes over to her trash and they're like, look at this. There's all these bottles in here. Goldie Hawn says, I had guests earlier. Bette Midler said, who, Guns N' Roses?
I thought that was funny too.
Yes.
Who, Guns N' Roses?
Yes. There's a cool scene at this gay bar earlier in the movie. So Diane Keaton.
That's kind of a funny scene.
Her daughter's gay, which it only really matters to the movie because they have to go to a gay bar.
Yeah.
And since Goldie Hawn also plays a famous actress in this movie, a couple of people are like, oh, we always knew you were gay.
Yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, we always knew you were gay. And then this lady's like, you want to dance? And she's like,
okay.
Okay.
But they recruit the daughter to help.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, I'm in. So
yes.
she acts as a spy.
Yes.
To spy on her father.
It's a fun movie.
Kind of funny, yeah.
It's not my favorite film, but I enjoyed it. Let's do some character analysis.
All right.
What do you think Morty tells us about regrets and getting bored?
I don't think he has regrets.
At the end of the movie, you don't?
No.
Oh, that's very odd to me.
Why? What do you mean?
I think he absolutely regrets leaving Bette Midler for Sarah Jessica Parker. Because, yeah, right, and I'm going to tell you why. Yes, she screwed him over, but she was an intellectual challenge for him.
Yeah.
As opposed to Sarah Jessica Parker, who's just this, she's more beautiful and she's younger.
She's a trophy wife.
But she's a trophy wife. There's no real
girlfriend.
intelligence.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
Chris Rock, back in the day, I believe it was in the special Bring the Pain. He does this act. He does this piece. And I'm going to use some strong language just so you know. He says, in life, men have to choose between what they want. Is it commitment or new pussy? Commitment or new pussy? And he's like, commitment will give you a headache sometimes. New pussy will always clear your mind. But then he says, but what do you want? when your son is sick, is new pussy going to feed him? New pussy can't cook. And then he's like, is new pussy going to read to your son? New pussy's illiterate. And I thought of that act when we were watching the movie.
Well, you could have changed it.
Oh, I could have.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Oh. When he's like, new pussy's illiterate.
Oh, jeez.
And that came out very strongly to me when they're in the limousine and she's refusing to go out to the party.
Yeah.
New pussy is illiterate.
You could say Bubs.
Go ahead.
Wait, here's something. Here, I know this is kind of I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole or whatever. But when did animals become names for genitalia? I never understood that.
I don't know, babes.
Yeah.
So I think he resents her. She cleared his mind, but she's illiterate.
But then afterwards, it's like, no.
Yeah. Bette Midler's going to give him a headache, but she can read and feed the kids. And
yeah. So you think that he has? You could be right about that. I don't know.
Yes.
I just don't know. I mean, maybe he doesn't want to go back to Bette Midler, but he definitely wants to leave Shelley. Or that Shelley wants to, yeah.
You don't think that they end up together?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think it was just a thing, and then now it's like it was cute for a while, and now I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
You know, I mean, with him and Bette Midler, they don't go back.
I don't know if they. No, I'm talking about him and Shelley. I don't think they stay together.
But what do you think happens with him and Bette Midler?
They may not stay together. I know that Bette Midler's character was going back and forth like, oh, I love Morty still, but I can't stand what he did to me.
Yes.
You know.
Maybe instead of Morty, she should have gone with Wick.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, sorry, I crack myself up sometimes.
I think it's funny that you do, though.
Thank you.
Because it shows that you really do have a good sense of humor.
What does Bette Midler teach us about having a sense of humor through the good times and the bad?
Say what you think, and I'll chime in.
She, is going through some rough stages in life, but she always cracks a few jokes here and there. And when Cynthia died, we should say that she sent each of them letters and is talking about the different qualities that each of them has
True.
that she wished belonged in her.
True, yeah.
And when she gets to Bette Midler's character, she says, I wish I had her sense of humor.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think she's trying. I think she's trying because she's going through a horrible time, and she was married to her husband for like
20-something
years, a long time. And she has a young teenage boy to think of and to take care of. And how is he going to turn out after witnessing his parents' divorce?
Yes.
And how is he going to feel about women? How is he going to treat women after he saw that? So, yeah, I think that she's trying to have a good time in the midst of, to be joyful in the midst of her pain.
What can we learn from her about generosity?
What do you mean?
Well, her family helped Morty get his business started.
Yes, that's right.
Beyond that, she is generous with her opinion, even though she kind of has an idea that it might backfire when it comes to talking about alcoholism with Goldie Hawn.
I think that it's a good question. I think she's very generous. She did help out her husband, her ex-husband. As far as her opinion, I think she realizes that, yes, it is her opinion, but she has to say it. Because when would it be a good time not to say it? She has to tell Goldie Hawn's character the truth.
Well, here's another question.
Yeah.
What does Diane Keaton teach us about not living our truth?
Well, it's possible that she may have gone through where she was a time where she was being raised and she wasn't allowed to express herself, and so she has to apologize. Maybe she had to live a certain way to make, for all appearances, right? maybe she had an idea that her family was perfect because it was her husband, and her daughter, and everybody, she was the one that seemed to have it all together. But she was very apologetic.
My take on it,
yeah,
in maybe different words, is that at the beginning of the movie, she has money.
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing the mask of happiness.
Yeah.
But she really just desperately wants people to love her.
Yes.
And when she finally says her truth to her friends, they love her and give her the strength she needs to rise up.
Right. And I think it was funny remember when she's talking to the daughter and she's like, Mom, you have to stop apologizing for yourself.
She's like, I'm sorry.
That's great. Because she's been very apologetic.
Yeah. I liked her daughter in this movie.
Yeah.
The only complaint I would have is I wish they would have gone a little bit deeper on why she doesn't like her dad.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that because we don't really have a glimpse into that at all.
Maybe it's just because she's seen her mother become so timid.
Or maybe it's because she has seen the interaction with the both of them, and she just believes that her father has been using her mother.
Is it correct to assume, babe, that when Diane Keaton's character was younger, that she did live her truth? And the reason I ask that is because also in the letter that Cynthia sent out, she said that she really admired her strength, Diane Keaton's character's strength.
Yes. I don't know that she may have lived her truth, and then something happened. Maybe what?
I'm wondering if the reason the daughter hates her father is because she has seen her dad prevent Diane Keaton from living her truth. Like maybe when she was a little kid, Diane Keaton was a little bit more adventurous and tried harder to be who she was meant to be. And over time, it just got taken out of her.
So when you mean her truth, you're talking about
being who she's meant to be.
Her true identity
Yes.
in what she really is.
Exactly.
Okay. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible.
What does the lady from Saved by the Bell and Goldie Hawn teach us about youth in pop culture?
Well, I thought it was...
I only said that because I don't remember her name in this movie.
Elizabeth... what is her name? It wasn't Monique. Phoebe. Her name was Phoebe.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was... So, when it comes to Goldie Hawn, right? Because in the movie, she was 45, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she was 45 in the movie, I thought she was an old 45. But what do I know? I don't know what she looks like. And it just reminded me of what she was going through when she played Helen in Death Becomes Her, right?
Yes.
They were struggling. She was struggling with youth. And didn't she? Rob Reiner wanted. She wanted Rob Reiner's character to give her collagen.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just so thinking about losing her youth, losing her vitality, And here's this young girl that has been in her ex-husband's life.
Let me phrase it another way.
I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly.
Okay. Phoebe's character in the movie, we find out, is like 16.
Yeah.
So she's going to get all the cool roles that maybe used to go to Goldie Hawn.
Uh-huh.
It's been almost 25 years. Mm-hmm. So Phoebe is like roughly 40 or 41 years old.
Yes.
About 4 years younger than Goldie Hawn's character was during the First Wives Club.
And speaking of which, I think she's much older than that. But
all right, but we're talking about her character.
Her character, yeah.
And what I'm wondering for you is Phoebe starting to go through the same things that Goldie Hawn went through in this movie, to where, yeah, she was a successful actress and she did all these cool feminine roles, but now she's playing the mom a little bit more, or the best friend. and not getting the starring role as often as she used to, except for in movies that are a little bit lower budget. Is that starting to creep into her life?
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, I will always remember her as Jessie Spano on Saved by the Bell, because I've watched Saved by the Bell a lot. So, she's not Jessie Spano anymore. She's an older, she's older. She has kids. I believe she has a husband. She's not as, she's not a young teenager like she was before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What does Sarah Jessica Parker teach us about being new pussy that can't read?
Oh my goodness.
Basically, what does she teach us? Let me rephrase that in a more sophisticated way, if you don't mind.
No, I would rather you did.
Okay. What can we learn from her about being attractive and not doing the work in life?
So much, Bub, so much. Okay. Just because a girl is attractive as far as being a trophy girlfriend and maybe a trophy wife, right? Just because she's probably one of those women, and I'm not talking about Sarah Jessica Parker as she is in real life, but that kind of a character, yes. Shelley. She's probably one of those people that believes that all I need to do is look fabulous and everything will happen for me. Would you agree?
That sounds about right.
I don't have to think. I don't have to know what's going on around me. I can just look pretty but be stupid.
After we watched the film last night. Oh, yes. Were you about to say something else?
No.
Okay. I had told you that there was a First Wives Club sequel.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the case, but we Googled it. Apparently I'm wrong, but they are in talks about doing another movie.
There's like a rumor of it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. What I'm wondering from you, if they do another film, would it be appropriate, now that Sarah Jessica Parker Shelley is older, to expect her to join the club as one of the bitter older ladies?
Bitter older ladies. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, she's well into middle age now, so...
Yeah, I mean... we can assume that things didn't work out with her and Morty, but at that point, she was still young enough and attractive enough to get a successful older man. And I just don't know what happens from there.
I don't know. Yes. I think they don't, but I really don't think they stay together at all. Mm-hmm. Maybe he does go back to Bette Midler, but Bette Midler is very much in pain, and her character is very much in pain. So I don't know if she'll be willing to take him back so quickly.
Nice.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to say about this movie?
No, I thought it was fun. It wasn't the best movie ever, like we both said, but I think it's a fun movie.
The singing at the end was very corny.
I don't think they should have put that there.
No.
I think maybe what they should have done was they should have had a clip of them as young people singing in a group.
I wouldn't even done that.
Or maybe they wouldn't even need the singing.
What I would have done is just, at the end, before they started singing, they were sitting at the table commemorating the opening night of their shelter where battered women can go and dance. And I would have slowly I would have just had them talking, and I slowly would have taken the camera outside and just raised it in the air, and you see the night sky, and that's the last shot of the movie.
Nice.
Yes.
That would be a cool ending.
But the singing at the end, it doesn't work at all.
I thought it was weird. I mean, yeah. I thought it was very strange.
Did you see this movie in a theater or on home video?
No, I saw it on home video with my family.
Oh.
But it was a fun movie.
What did everybody, not individual, but was that the overall consensus with people?
I didn't talk to them about that. I just thought it was fun. We don't have, a lot of, movie discussions.
Interesting.
We just like watching good movies that we like.
It's just you either like it or you don't, but you guys don't break it down like we do.
You either like it or you don't. Uh-oh. Or, you either want to see it again or you don't.
I'm happy that I'm showing you a new way to experience cinema.
Yeah, because before I met you, I wouldn't have thought about having a movie discussion like this.
Nice.
Yes.
Any final thoughts on the movie?
I would recommend it to people. You know, if you really want a fun movie and maybe you've gone through a divorce or you're going through a divorce or whatever, it'll be something to take your mind off of it.
Yeah, despite my complaints, there is enough good stuff in this movie.
It's pretty funny.
To tell people to watch it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have a lot of good fun.
Yeah, it's not the deepest movie. There's some corny stuff, but it kind of works.
Goldie Hawn, Bette Midler, and Diane Keaton really worked well together, I think.
Since January 1st, we have watched 3 Goldie Hawn movies. Mm-hmm. First Wives Club,
House Sitter,
and Death Becomes Her.
Yes.
I'm wondering, has your opinion of her evolved over the last couple of months?
I guess so. I mean, yeah, I mean, the movies that I've seen, I think she's really funny in these movies.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially House Sitter. That was really funny.
That's a great movie.
That is really funny. I remember at the end where she's like, actually, it's Jessica.
Yes.
Like, I love you, Gwen. Actually, it's Jessica. So she was lying about that too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, especially when the parents came over and she's naked. That was such a funny movie.
That's a great film.
And the 2 homeless people that played her parents.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really liked the movie Overboard as a kid.
That was fun as a kid. I don't know if it holds up now.
Oh, I really enjoy it. I could watch it all the time.
They did a remake to it.
Really?
A couple years ago, and I got through maybe 15 minutes, and I thought this is really dumb, and I stopped watching it.
Really? Yeah. Well, what is the premise?
I think they reversed the role, so now it's the girl getting the rich guy who gets amnesia.
Oh, wow.
I didn't watch it that much of it, but it had Anna Faris in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, by the way, she is from the Northwest originally.
That's right, and she has a podcast.
Does she really?
Yes.
Is it a comedy one?
I don't know. I've never listened to it. I think it's one of those overly produced ones.
Okay.
Yes,
well,
yes.
Whether it's overly produced or not, I don't think it should matter.
Okay. What else?
Yeah, whatever.
Babes.
Yes.
Did you have any dreams last night?
I did not.
Oh.
No, but I slept really good.
Yes. And then we woke up early. You got up to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I did. You did not follow me.
No. This time, I decided to let you go alone.
I always go alone.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Whatever.
We've been doing some toilet training recently.
What?
It's been going good.
No, I am very potty trained. Thank you very much.
I'm glad to hear it, babes.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you, babes.
Oh my goodness.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
You got some very strange jokes.
Thank you.
I think it's really cute that you laugh at yourself,
yes.
But sometimes I think, really? That's funny, really?
Well, it is, babes. If I'm laughing at it, it's probably pretty good stuff.
Whatever.
You feel good about this, babes? Is that all you have to say?
For this, yes.
Yes. And we will go and do something else in a minute.
That's right.
That's right. But maybe we should end this with a kiss.
Okay.
Oh, my neck is so sore.
Are you okay?
But that's okay, babes.
Well, we can take a little bit of break.
Not too long, but
no,
just stretch and all that good stuff.
Right. Okay.
All right, Jaylo.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye for now.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.